I've been sitting on this hole for over 2.5 years. This hole right here is one of the most iconic classic speedboat holes. In this video, I'm gonna be making the ultimate Frankenstein skiff. This is gonna be like a cross between a Thai longtail racing boat, a vintage speedboat, and a super GNU Florida style skiff. So I am on a mission to build a 50-mile-per-hour skiff. Yes! I'm gonna be really honest with you. I don't get nervous with these test runs. I don't know how this thing is gonna be. And oh yeah, I got a special guest. My buddy Maurice is in town from Curacao.
Forced, you sure forced?
I'm not worried.
I'm not scared.
Yeah, it looks perfect. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let's rock and roll. So we begin our build with one of the most iconic speedboat holes around. This is the one and only Glastron CVX 16. As you can see here, this was a donor boat. I picked this boat up for 200 bucks. This boat had a bunch of rot. I mean, as you can see, she was pretty rough, but the perfect donor boat for a fast, speedy skiff. So I went and cut the cap off and basically got it ready for the next phase. I towed it over to my buddy's yard, and it was now time to start cutting the hole. Okay, so end of day one, got a good 3.5 hours in today. Got pretty much everything cut out that I was hoping for. Next is gonna be grinding. I'm pretty stoked that the stringers are still, look at that. Stringers look good. Or stringer is solid. Got the transom stripped down. It was pretty rotted, toasty. This is all just the imprint left. Tomorrow's gonna be giving it a quick grind and lay some glass. Good morning. So here we go. Day 2, getting ready to bust out. I'm gonna flip the boat over, suit up, and bust out all of the grinding that I want to get done. And then it's just laminating. So let's get this thing started. So what I want to do here is, you can see all of this here is where this is all like bonding putty, essentially, a resin mixed up with glass, but basically where they bonded the floor. So I'm gonna grind. I basically want to grind everything so that it looks like this, but a fresh surface, because I'm going to be putting my sides right to there. So my two things are, get all of this out. Also on this stringer, I want to try to get it, I mean, it's going to be covered, but I don't know. I want to get it a little bit tighter, so I'm going to buzz this stringer down so that I can then laminate on top of it. All right, all suited up. This right here is my favorite. Just killed so many birds with one stone. I especially like, you know, it's amazing how much we can absorb through our eyes. So even though we might wear safety glasses when we're grinding, working with chemicals, fumes, we still absorb through our eyes, tear ducts. So wearing this just gives like that much better of a feeling and is more effective. The tools we're going to be using, good old trusty angle grinder, and these are just the 36 grit wheel. It's not my first choice, but I'm out of the other grinding wheels that you've probably seen in some past builds. But this is what they look like. Oh, 24 grit. And then I'm also got the hog. Eight-inch. This kind of makes quick work of some stuff. So let's get to it. Woo! Halfway done. Holy shit. Look at all the sweat. It is hot here in Florida. Let me tell you what. All right, halfway done in the grinding. Now I gotta grind the other side, the starboard side of the hull, and then knock down the stringer. Keep plugging away. I got all our edge clean. So I'm gonna be putting the sides up against it. Basically the way this is gonna work is I wanna build essentially a bulkhead across, and this is going to be just a foam filled seat going all the way back to the transom. Deck area to about here, so the deck's going to be super small, and then another bulkhead going across right here, and then this whole top is just going to be like a not a false floor. I mean, you'd be able to stand on it, but it won't be good for standing on, that's for sure. Nonetheless, probably do like maybe like a bungee cord net up here is what I'm thinking, to secure life jacket, whatever things are loose. There's gonna be no compartments, just like I said, an open, probably about a 7-foot deck here, or cockpit. So, yeah. All right. Okay, both sides are grinded. You're starting to see I ground down where my bulkhead will be. Second bulkhead kind of gives you an idea of the floor. So now I'm going to just get the stringer looking a little bit better, and it's ready to glass. This is, oh shit, I got chills. I'm not even cold. Holy crap. It is warm out. This is the stuff you don't see in the videos. I'm shaking. I try to go with like 15 to 20 minute bursts. Hydrate, go again, hydrate. It's brutal though. Sweat a lot doing this, especially in these suits, if I haven't said that yet. So look at this. I don't know if you can see the shimmer. Look at my shorts. Can you see that shimmer? My shorts, everything is soaked all the way through. That's how much you sweat wearing those suits. Those of you that know me know I sweat super easily. So, but not as much as my buddy Mike Almeida. He's the biggest sweater of all. Yeah, she's ready. That's a good feeling right there. Also got the sides. The sides are ground down all the way. We're gonna put our sides up, be able to laminate, bond them. We are at a stopping point for today. The hull is prepped, it is ready. This project has been strung out over the last several months. Finally, we're gonna get it underway. Maurice has some good ideas.
I do.
And we're going to, I don't know, we're just gonna do it. We're just gonna knock out. So what's the first thing we're gonna do on this boat right now? So it's transom time. What are we doing the transom out of? What did we decide? What did you decide?
Plywood. We're gonna use plywood, and then we're gonna glass it over, and we're also gonna glass the stringer. That's the step one.
So let's do it. We're gonna cut out the transom, fill in a little putty in the stringer, throw some glass, and yeah.
That'll be cool.
It's so fun to record and watch someone else working.
It is.
No, I always try to hold the camera, do it. It's impossible. So it's a nice perspective. So Maurice has a ton of experience. He built a super cool boat called Got Ski, and influenced by the original jet ski. There's going to be a link in this video to Maurice's build and the boat that he built, but it was a wood boat, epoxy build, super cool skiff. You'll want to check it out for sure. So he's bringing his woodworking skills, and we're going to bust it out. Here we go. Safety glasses. Wait. Safety first.
Then we have to be around here.
So what we're doing now is we've got our plywood cut, and what we want to do is we want to get this curve in here, this angle. There's a couple different ways to do it. Maurice is going to show us a scribing method. So
there you go.
So what he's doing basically is he's going to know his highest point, and he's going to set the marker right above it, and then that way as he traces, well, you'll see. So here we go.
There you go. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. This is a perfect scribing stick because it has a rounded front, and I kind of found it laying around Force's new engine. Let's see if it fits.
Let's do it. Seeing how efficient this skiff is, I wanted to try it out with my 6 horsepower. So I've got a little 6 horsepower 4-stroke Suzuki. I want to see how the boat does with it. Just go for a little quick rip before starting the day. Beautiful out this morning. Crazy, barely any throttle, and this thing just slices through the water. It's gonna be interesting to see how it does. I've been curious if it will get on plane with the 6 horsepower, you know, a little single cylinder motor. But I think it will. I'm gonna make a guesstimation. Definitely gonna be able to get it on plane. Hopefully I don't have to run up to the bow of the boat, but I'm thinking it's gonna go probably 15, 16 miles per hour. That's my guess. It'd be pretty awesome if it does. All right, let's see what this thing can do. Here we go. Oh, easy, easy. Needs a little weight up front, but it's good. Handles good. I think this sets my record for the fastest low horsepower planing hole that I've built. Right on the money with my guesstimation, 15, 16 miles an hour. I feel like it was limited by the prop, honestly, but it's probably here nor there.
Ooh, I'm missing a few sides. Look at that one. You missed it.
It's beautiful. So,
Ooh, it has to go
perfect first fit.
This has to get out.
Maurice says measure once, cut, and then glue a lot of times. I say you got to measure a bunch of times and then do it. Totally not true. So you can see this cut is probably perfect where Maurice marked it. Then it'll drop right in.
Yeah.
What do you think? Same thing?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Snug, Forrest. Snug fit.
Beautiful. You're professional.
There you go. Boom.
Pow. All right, so we're debating here. We're looking at this transom, which has been totally prepped. Spent time grinding on it before, but now that we're taking a closer look, we're kind of debating, do we want to go through cleaning all of this up? I mean, yes, the beauty is there's some glass, but we're letting Maurice make the executive decision. And Maurice decided to cut it off. So why are we cutting it off?
We're cutting it off because then it's less of a hassle trying to bond it to one another, and I think you'll just have a nice taper and you'll have a straight transom. This has a little bit of a curve, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It's much easier, much easier.
And then as we look closer, we kind of discovered some of this old glass and repairs and there's cracks. So like, let's just make it clean.
Exactly.
So that's what we're doing.
Go for it, Forrest. Safety first.
Weight savings. The boat's lighter now. So we've got the transom on here. We're doing some just light reference marks. We're gonna get put some screws through this from the transom to the piece of wood, and then that way it's been pre-fit and it's ready so that when we prep the wood and transom and mix up our resins, we can just literally throw it up. We've got our reference marks where to line it up to, ballpark, and then our screw holes should align, and
We're good to go.
bada boom, bada bing. Got a nice tight, no gap. All our marks are lined up. So now what we'll do is we'll measure our top where we want to be. We'll cut it off, and then we'll start prepping. Things of you.
12.
Okay. I'll match. Yeah, that gap looks pretty beautiful. Okay, close
it
enough.
down.
Yeah, it's fine. 14 and a half.
Cool.
Beautiful. Which looks pretty centered.
Yeah.
Lastron's awesome.
They are. Tape it.
Yeah, I'm gonna mark it.
There you go. Do the other side.
There you go. Beautiful.
Much easier when you're two people, right?
Dude, so much easier.
I did so much stuff by myself. It was
Right, I know. Okay. Yep, so we're gonna go. Just give yourself right in that point. What do you got there?
34 and a quarter. $34.
I mean, pretty
close.
Close enough.
Oh, wait. What a job. Damn, that's
that thing's a machine.
I'm buying one. I'm buying one. Fuck, this is good. Hi guys. We've been working a little bit here. We've actually drilled some holes to make sure that once we epoxy this in, it will function kind of like nails, so it will stick. And that's about it. Next, we're gonna stick the transom. Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. No contamination.
What?
No contamination.
So Maurice got a nice fresh surface. Hit this real lightly just to, in case there is any contamination. We got this surface ready. Cool. All right.
Pour it in there.
Boom.
And then you get the sides.
Yeah, and then that's kind of I have my own post. We all have our own. There you go. Straight down. Boom.
Boom. That's why I was actually trying to.
Okay, we're live.
Look at the nails. Look at the nails. Perfect.
I'm just gonna use my finger and just literally do a little fillet back here. Got our drain plug.
Did you fill it up?
Yeah. And then literally, we just run it, what we got on the bottom, any extra. All right, you got it? I'm gonna put my, oh God. Ew. Man, we got our, or not floor, our sides.
Woohoo!
Show me your new tool.
That's cool. So basically, I am cutting the glasswork that we need to actually cover the single stringer that we have in the boat. So I need to cut about 6 pieces of this. So this is gonna be fun. Look at this tool. Look at it go! Look at it go! Look at it go! Damn!
All right, so here we go. We've got the boat ready. Maurice has cut the fiberglass. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna mix up a putty, basically bonding putty mixed with resin. We're gonna fill this void, and then while it's still wet, we're just gonna wrap it in glass. We're gonna wet out the glass and then put them right on. So rock and roll. We're gonna have some stringers done.
Well, we were able to actually get it done. We thought we were going to be able to film it, but hey, it was difficult. Look at how nice it turned out.
All right, so now it's time for yet another motor test on the skiff. I've got an 8 horsepower Yamaha here. This is a 2021 brand new motor. I'm really interested to see what this thing does with the 8. So the 8 and the 9.9 are the same block. It's a 2-cylinder motor, and basically this is where you jump up from a single cylinder motor to a 2-cylinder motor. So this will be really cool. I'm curious what this thing's gonna do with the 8 horsepower. In my mind, I'm really hoping to be over 20 miles per hour. I think it should do that no problem. That'll be pretty sweet to hit 20. I mean, God, sipping on fuel. But this motor's pretty sweet. It's got the longer shift handle. It's got the shifter up front, which is super nice, especially if you do like a tiller extension, which is the plan on this. But I think this is gonna be the ideal motor setup. The cool thing is that if I wanted to upgrade this 8 horsepower to a 9.9, all I have to do is change the carburetor, which is not too costly. But I think this is gonna go awesome. I'm really excited to see how this thing runs with the 8 horsepower, and I'm gonna make a guesstimation. What's your guess on the 8 horsepower? I'm going 22 miles an hour. 22.5, that's my guess. 8 horsepower motor on the skiff. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go to the boat ramp and test this puppy out.
Let's do it.
I didn't hear it. All right, so we got our first set of sides on. Made some templates, cut them out. What we're gonna do now is bondo these to the side of the boat so that we can create a template. All right, so I've got a super cool piece that I've been waiting to repurpose. Look at this thing over here. Let's check it out. Look at this fiberglass lid! What? Yeah! Oh my God, I love it. So what this is, look at this. This thing's pre-made. It was for a different boat, but these dimensions are perfect to put it on the ride. So let's do it.
Let's do it.
Filming. All right, here we are, day 4 on the Gnu Slayer build. Maurice is grinding away. We're in full speed. Our goal for the end of the day is to have the sides on, everything glassed together. We got a ton done yesterday. We got everything pre-cut, pre-fit. So today's gonna be a lot of just glassing everything together. And yeah, be fun.
Do the other side? No. You do the other side.
So we got our sides bonded together. We just did 2 laminations. And we're just accelerating the curing process. So once these are cured, we'll be able to fit the sides all the way and glass them in inside of the boat. That's the plan. Piece of art right there. That's what I'm talking about.
Hi guys. We actually just finished glassing the front of the transom. Look at how nice it is. It came up pretty nice. And next steps is going to be working on the sides.
With your fast epoxy, you think be ready to go?
It would have been ready long ago.
All right, so we just got back from lunch. We let the transom and our glasswork from earlier cure. So one of the beauties about working with polyester resin or vinyl ester is it dries so fast, especially if you expose it to some sun. It just builds up heat. So one of the biggest things, and I mentioned in some of the other videos, is I really hate being rushed doing glasswork. So I always use the bare minimum of hardener with polyester resin because I'd rather have the time to not be rushed, to work out air bubbles, to wet out everything properly. You do such a better job when you don't put too much hardener, and that's the #1 mistake everybody does. So the key to doing this is to measure the amount of hardener you're using. And the way to do that is they sell these really cool little bottles that have little measuring cups attached to them. So that's how we do this. Get it proper and not be rushed and do proper glasswork.
Awesome!
So we have bondoed our piece in position. We just put this screw in, hot glued the corner to the transom. So basically what we're gonna do now is let this dry and give us a light sand, do our fillet, and then glass. Yeah.
Don't know why.
She's got some long tail look to it.
Cool. The lithium series.
We got a boat, homie! Woo! So that's how you go from all wood to all of a sudden fiberglass. Maurice and I have been cranking away. We actually got it done pretty quick.
Yeah, we did.
So we just tag teamed it. We basically mixed up our bonding putty to create a fillet, and then while the bonding putty was still wet, we would just wet out glass and follow, and just worked our way from the stern just back and forth, alternating, and we got it laminated all the way up front. Now all the inside is laminated. We're going to actually it's dry back here. So what we're gonna do is undo our little pieces that we're holding up the side, and then we're gonna just clean up the edges and then laminate the transom. And it's officially a boat. As of right now, this boat would float and get you somewhere.
From the front.
From the front, he says.
The front.
It is pretty cool.
It is, isn't it?
So this morning did a little shaping. The bow. All right, here we go. Last day. Maurice is getting the glass ready. So we're gonna do our lamination on the outside and then let that dry. And after lunch, give it a little buzz. Knock off all our excess glass, and we're gonna go for a test run. Can't wait. This is gonna be fun. Look at this thing. Prepped and ready. So we're gonna mix up some glass. Maybe we'll record some, maybe not. It's really tough when you're doing the laminating to try to be pausing and hit record. but we'll try to get some, maybe.
Maybe.
Well, as predicted, we did not film any. So right when we started mixing up, getting ready to start, it started raining, so we hauled butt to get the boat inside, moved everything around, made some space. Forecast called for a clear morning, but anyhow, we got the outside laminated. So now what we'll do is we'll let it all dry and then trim just this bottom. Trim the bottom, trim our little excess up here, and it'll be good for a test run.
We can go for a ride like this, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
We got this glued in. Some sticks. So now what we're gonna do is mix up our epoxy, wet it out, and tab it in.
Yeah. Woo!
All right, so we're on the final push. This is Maurice's last day. So it's the end of the day and we still got some things left to do here before tomorrow morning's test run. So we've got the back end, it's drying. We've been running the hair dryer to help kick it off a little quicker. First test run.
Can't wait, can't wait.
Going to see what this thing does. So first motor we're testing out is the 9.9 old Mercury 2-stroke. I'm gonna make a prediction. You have any predictions? We've talked about this, so I don't really have to think about it. My prediction for speed, actually altered mine, but 23 miles per hour.
23?
Yeah, that's my guess.
27.
27. 9.9. All right, let's see. Oh, she's light. Oh, the water's clear. Got the Gnu Slayer. Oh man, look at this thing. Got our buddy Ed and his Gnu, custom Gnu. Thing's pretty pimped out. Nice 15 Mercury. So here we go. Sea trial's not going so great. Luckily Ed is towing me in. How'd it go? How was it, buddy?
It's beautiful, man. It's
What did it-
beautiful. 25 mph.
What?
Right in the middle.
So Maurice just got back. First one to test run it. How did it feel stability-wise?
It's a bit weird. Get in.
Yeah. So we're gonna go for both of us test run. All right, here we go. First test run, 2 people. See how it goes. 22.0. 22.6.
What the hell?
Yeah. All right, so we just finished our test runs. 2 people. We hit almost 23 miles per hour with 2 guys. It's so cool because we haven't even really played with anything on this. The motor position, the trim, the motor height, like all those are little things that you can dial in an extra 2-3 miles per hour. Balance of the boat as well. So it's pretty cool. I mean, you know, we're not 2 small guys, and both of us in this boat with a 10 horsepower to go 22, almost 23, and 22.6. I mean, who's counting? No, we are.
I don't care.
I don't care. I don't care. I'm not worried. So, pretty impressive. Wow. God, I can't wait to put a bigger motor on this thing.
Yeah.
How fast is it going to be? Maurice is cutting out some pieces for us to do our template. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to get a bunch of these pieces, and this is how we get the patterns to match perfectly. So these will all get glued with the hot glue gun. They'll overlap, and basically you stack them and we create this template, and we're going to be cutting the floor piece, cutting it, bonding it in tonight. We're going to glass in this bulkhead, and basically we'll have our cockpit area done, bonded to the back bulkhead and bonded to the front bulkhead. And then really the only thing left is going to be doing our floor for the bow up here. So we'll do some templates for that, cut that out, glass it in, and then I think the only thing left to do is going to be to trim up all our excess glass that's all over the place on this thing, especially down here. Nice.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I'll do this.
So what Maurice is doing is an alternating pattern, over, under, with these pieces of the hot glue gun. And basically, that's how you'll get a pattern.
Still need to go around maybe and mark some spots. Or do you think it's okay? Actually, it's pretty good.
It's beautiful. So now this template, you can pop this template out, lay it on our floor, trace it out, cut it, fit like fit like a glove. Some of you may recognize this. This is leftover, really cool underneath This is a Nomex core material used in high-end racing boats. Actually, this came out of this big carbon fiber sailboat. So this is laminated carbon fiber epoxy. It's super, super lightweight. And this wood will clean up really well. I used the piece in the catamaran build. If you've seen that video, the piece I did for the box and to stand on was made out of this, repurposed. Same stuff, looked just as crappy as this one, but with a little bit of sanding, can look perfect. Bada boom, bada bang. Check this out. The carbon. Look up close. Carbon fiber. Pretty sick.
Honeycomb.
Yep, all honeycomb. There we have it.
Solid wooden deck.
Tell me how light that is.
Weighs like nothing. Like
It's literally like a feather. Wait, give it a little toss in the air. Whoa, look how light it is. It's gonna fly. Here you go.
This way, right?
Let's see what we got. Look at that thing, like butter. Oh man. Just a little bit of touch up, but man, that fits good. The new Honda center console. And it's their battery. So much for lightweight.
Forced, you sure forced?
I'm not worried.
I'm not scared.
Yeah, it looks perfect. I'm not worried.
I'm not scared. Why? Because I pick the drill that's a bit smaller. That ain't going nowhere. The Emu Slayer.
All right, so what we're doing is we're about to go to the boat ramp. Travis has got the drone ready. Hey, how fast does your drone go?
We're gonna find out. 40, maybe?
40, okay. So the idea will be, hopefully it can race the drone. It'll be a good race. I'll make a guesstimate. I'm hoping for 35 miles an hour. That would be extra awesome because this prop, this is actually more of like a power prop. It's only a 12 pitch, and these motors, like, they love a 15 pitch prop. Some of the other skiffs, the red skiff, the other times I've run these, I run a 15 and they do well with it. So I don't know. I know the motor's going to rev out pretty quick, but I think if 35 is achieved, that'll be pretty sick with this prop. And I know with some prop, some bottom stuff, a couple surprises, I think the 50 mile per hour mark.
I don't want to deal with that.
All right, well,
It doesn't work.
it doesn't work. We tried to go for a test run on this motor. It was absolutely probably the scariest I've been in a skiff. For the brief moments that it had power, it was super squirrely, super sketchy, as you can see in the video. I think the fuel pump is toast on this motor. It was just one I had laying around, so I'm gonna swap the fuel pump out, and I don't know, it's supposed to rain today. Let's see. Really gonna try to not go like 2 months till another test run. So I'm gonna swap the fuel pump out, see if we can get it. We tried. That's what test runs are for. Yeah. Okay, fuel pump is swapped. Ready for test run. Just gotta wait till my drone pilot's done. Yeah. This isn't a boat.
You can't get a talking about, dude.
No, you can't curse. This is YouTube. She's not kid friendly.
You need to learn how to bleep it out. We don't want you getting demonetized now.
No demonetization. So one of the things that's nice, you can always run a motor on like a tank or earmuffs. Those are like the worst options because you don't put any back pressure on your motor. Second best would be submerging the motor in some sort of a tank or bucket. And then the ultimate is actually putting the motor in water, putting it in gear, putting it under load. So I was not able to run this motor under load, and I think that was kind of the culprit. So now I'm just gonna back the trailer into the water at the boat ramp and put it in gear and run it like that. There you go, the moment of truth. I sure hope this strap holds. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're making power now. Woo. Sweet, that's it. That was the fix. Fuel pump was bad. We got the new fuel pump. Ready to rock and roll. All right, I'm gonna call Travis, have him come down here with the drone. I don't know, I'm gonna be really honest with you. I don't get nervous with these test runs. Maybe the project rib hole, I was definitely sketched out, but based on how this thing ran this morning, this boat's so lightweight and nimble, and it feels so overpowered. In the brief moment that I tried to go, it is absolutely sketchy. I 100% feel like I could go swimming right now because I don't know how this thing is gonna be. The wind is absolutely blowing and I don't know. I'm freaking nervous. I feel like I'm only gonna have to be able to partial throttle it, and yeah, there's no way I'm gonna go wide open. I don't know, we'll see. I mean, you don't know unless you try. So Travis is on the way with the drone. At least we'll capture some video. Maybe I'll leave my phone in the car for this one. Well, I thought that was the problem. Fix. It wasn't. Although it was better, it's continuing to die after I get on it. It was surging and I don't know, something's funky. I got to figure it out, but I'm now drifting. The wind is pushing me offshore. I've got the anchor. I'll throw my anchor and hang tight. You never know unless you try. See, everybody breaks down in a boat. Speaking of which, do you have a CTO membership? Did you know that CTO will cover you if you break down, run out of gas, battery goes dead? They will come and assist you. So if you don't have a CTO membership, I highly suggest you get one. I'm gonna save my buddies a call though. I'm not gonna call CTO right now to get towed in. Luckily, we just launched next door to the sailing center and they happen to have one of their little rib boats in the water. They were just towing a sailboat, so Travis is gonna walk over and see if he can get them to come out and give me a ride. Maybe we'll hit 50 like this. We got the rain coming. We were trying to beat the rain. Here comes the rain. Damn it. Oh, always an adventure. Here we go. Third time's a charm. The rain is past. I took off the other cowl. I was having problems with the pull start. I just ran this motor for like an hour under load in a tank. I took it over to my buddy's shop. No issues whatsoever. I don't know. I might be getting bamboozled by this motor, but it's acting like a fuel problem. You know, I'm gonna take it back to the ramp and I'm gonna give it another go. Here we go. Third time's a charm. Let's see. What do you think, buddy?
I think third time's a charm, right?
That's what I just said.
Except it's a little windy.
All right, so here I am. I just did the third try. Third time was not a charm, but it was a learning process nonetheless. I've pretty much narrowed it down. So it was running fine under partial load. Full load, it would run strong and then die out as if it's using up all the fuel in the carburetor in the bowl. Even though I just redid the carburetor, you know, you never assume that the first time you go through a carburetor, everything's kosher. With very high possibility, even though I tried to clean out the lines as good as possible, maybe in the fuel pump that I used before, maybe in one of the lines, there was some debris, something kind of worked loose. I think I'm gonna hopefully find a culprit when I take this carburetor apart. We'll see. A couple minutes from the shop, so, you know, it's all part of the process. Get a boat! It'll be great, they said. Here's something interesting. 25 horsepower, 35 horsepower. 25? 35. 25? 35. It's crazy. You just swap the carb and that's a big increase. So sometimes on the 25s, the intake won't be as big. All you have to do is take the intake off and bore it out. So Travis has a theory. I said, should I put the 25 on? The 25 carb. I've got a couple here. And go through, do a quick clean. Travis's theory is the boat gods above will let us run a 25, and it could save my life because, let's be honest, this ride is super sketchy with the 35.
Got a little squirrely at quarter throttle. Only leads me to believe 25 should be fine.
Okay, we're going 25. We're gonna make the boat gods happy. Here it is, end of the day. The wind is ripping. Test run number 4. This is it. I got a good feeling. I really hope this works. All right, motor's running good. So this is a whole nother carburetor that I cleaned up. One that it came off of a running motor. New gaskets. So far, it's running awesome. Moment of truth. Making power. Yes. Woo! Yes. on again. What a difference. Oh man. This is it. She's ready to go. This, you can even hear the difference from before. This carburetor, oh man. I gotta call Travis. Maybe Travis was bad luck all these times. All right, time for test run. I don't have a paddle. This will be my paddle. Travis is on his way. I'm gonna give this thing a go. I am nervous. I don't wanna go swimming right now. Oh God. I'm telling you, this thing is so tipsy at speed. I don't know. Okay, so here's the real world guess. Ooh. This motor is running so strong, especially compared to earlier today, and it felt terrifying earlier today. I'm gonna make my guess. I know it's gonna rev this prop out, but with my partial throttle, I'm not even gonna go near full throttle. I think this boat's gonna go over 30 in its sleep, probably 35. If I go with, oh God, I don't know. I'm nervous. Oh well, let's put this thing in the water and go for a run. Just got back. Travis got some video from here land. It was so terrifying. I didn't even think about taking my phone out. It feels every bit of 35, 40 miles an hour. Like no problem. It's scooting along. It instantly like revs out, hits that speed. The acceleration's incredible, but it needs a bigger prop, which I knew that. We're winning, bro. Yes.
Yep. No crashes.
No crashes.
Fourth time's the charm today.
Fourth time. Well, end of the day, we're gonna load it up and go. What a mega success. Holy crap. This thing's gonna eat up 50 miles an hour. I already know it. Let me tell you what, today has been quite the adventure. We have been going back and forth with this thing. You might have heard Travis say 4 tries, but at the end of it all, it was actually carburetor issues. You know, it goes to show you the lesson with today is that even though you might go through something, and I've had this happen before, I'll go through a carburetor, if it's really old, real gummy, there might be stuff that you can't see. And even though you soak it in one of those carb cleaning solutions that are, you know, mega toxic, sometimes it takes cleaning a carburetor 2 or 3 times thoroughly with brushes and tip cleaners and compressed air and going back and forth. But that's what it took today, or will take with the carburetor that I originally tried. At the end of it all, I ended up swapping carburetors for one that had been redone, but I still took that one apart. It was a running carburetor. I put new gaskets, new float, basically a whole rebuild kit. Let me tell you what, if it was calm water today, I might have already hit 40 miles an hour. Honestly, this thing is so fast. But the 50 mile an hour, I mean, I still haven't even played with the motor height yet. So motor height, a couple little tricks I'm gonna do to the bottom. 50 miles an hour is right there. And I know that's a huge difference from 40 to 50. But when you're already skipping across the surface of the water, all of it just comes down to this area. There's a famous boat racer, I think Reggie Fountain said it, but you know, like 95% of speed is everything below the water line. Horsepower is good, but it's the drag and what's touching the water, what's cutting through the water. So that's what I'm going to focus on with the prop. Again, that's under the water. And I mean, this is it. This thing, I'm still on a high from this. All right, so next step is I want to do this front little deck area. So the way we're going to do this is I'm going to fill this void Kind of get an idea there. I want to fill this void with expanding foam. So the foam I'm going to use is just a 2-pound density. It's more of a flotation foam. It's closed cell. It doesn't absorb water. It's pretty much Coast Guard approved type of foam. Not that I really care for doing this, but it's a good foam. It's left over from a job. The thing about using this is it's a 2-part. It's equal parts, A and B. You mix it up and you've got like 10 seconds as it's mixed to start pouring it. It's gonna start to expand that fast. It's a little bit cool out today, so that's gonna help when it's really hot out. It goes super quick. Part A, part B. Mix it up, stir it up. One of the things is putting this console into the skiff. See how it fits. Whew, it's close. Have to trim a little bit. Thing's looking kind of ugly. Can't be making this skiff look all ugly. All right, so I'm in the car. Yesterday was an amazing test run. There's one thing that I knew for certain, and that was that I'm not gonna have a big enough prop. I definitely need a higher pitch prop. I don't really have the budget to just go drop money on random props just for testing purposes. So what I'm doing now is I'm heading over to Marine Parts Outlet. I've mentioned them in some of my past videos, but this is like my toy store. If there is a favorite place for me to go, it's Marine Parts Outlet. Dan is the owner. Jonathan's a mechanic there. Bob, Marcy, and parts. Like these people in place, it's amazing. New parts, used parts, everything that I can even dream of is there. They're a dealership as well for boat motors, for trailers. I'm hoping that in the huge yard of used motors, especially some older stuff, they've got a huge inventory, that I can find some used props that will be good for testing and save a couple bucks. Fingers crossed that I can find some good props. I went inside and spoke with Dan already about coming out here and looking for stuff. I don't just randomly walk back on the property. All right, so I'm pretty stoked. I found 2 props so far, a 13 pitch and a 15 pitch, which is actually perfect. And then I found a second prop, which is right over here. I remember. Where did I find that? I'm lost. There's so many golden treasures here. I lose track of what's where. Wait, no, okay. Let's see what we've got. Where is it hiding? Oh, let's see. Here we go, right here. So we've got another prop. Here's a 13 pitch. So, looking at it, you know, it's worn. It's got some chips and stuff like that. It's not, you know, it's a used old prop. So I'm going to pull this off and kind of inspect them a little farther, but that's perfect. You know, clean them up, sand them down a little bit, get rid of some rough edges. At least it's something to test out and get a better idea for where we want to be power-wise or prop-wise with this motor and skiff setup. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grab my tools real quick, and Dan gave me permission to pull these 2 props, and then we'll inspect them a little farther. So let's do it. So this is an 11 pitch prop, a 13, and a 15. All right, so here's the moment we've been waiting for. Heading to the boat ramp. Got the 15 pitch prop, so that's quite an upgrade from an 11, although it's an 11 stainless, so that's like a 12 aluminum comparison or comparable. 15 pitch prop. Heading to the boat ramp. Gonna bring a GPS, record with it, so let's see what this thing does. All right, here it is. 15 pitch prop. I don't know. I guess we're gonna see how it does. Got my old phone. Let's bust out the Navionics. Let's see what the GPS does. The expanding foam is nice and dry. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to buzz this down first and foremost. And then I'm going to do a quick little prep inside. My goal for today is to put in this floor in this area. Boop, boop, boop. And to buzz down the deck here. Basically, I want all of this to be raw wood. Then I can coat it and protect the wood. It'll look nice and be durable and be waterproof first and foremost. So this is my donor piece. This is a piece of Divinycell that's been laminated, one lamination on both sides, but this is going to be the floor section. So I'm going to be able to grind all this. After I've ground it down, I'm then going to do my little template, make the template, transfer it onto the board. And after I cut in my piece, I'm then going to bond that in. My friends at FGCI, I just got some new products from them, which is a big announcement that I'm going to be dropping on you guys very soon. But in the meantime, they sent me some new products. I'm going to be bonding that in with their bonding putty, which is awesome. And then I'm going to be glassing this over. I've got a couple of their different resins, including their epoxy resin that I'm going to be using. This is a funky build because since I incorporated pieces like this that were made out of epoxy, the only way I could bond that into this boat, which is a polyester boat, so like the sides, that's all polyester resin. So it's real easy to bond in with epoxy. You have to use epoxy, but polyester resin won't bond to epoxy. Make sense? So like up here, when I put in the floor, this was all epoxied in. This is epoxy covered Divinycell. So when I lay the deck across, I'm gonna have to use epoxy on this back side to wrap. But for the front, I'm gonna bond it in with polyester products, the bonding putty, and then polyester resin. I've got their boatyard resin, which is really awesome. I'm excited for you guys to see it. And yeah, that's the plan. All right, so I got it leveled out. I think pretty accurate. The way I'm checking it is I'm just running this tape measure across. If you kind of hold a tape measure on the edge, it stays pretty straight. So I'm just running it across, and that's what I used as my reference to see how good I've leveled it out. And it's kind of adjustable. So yeah. If I knock down a little too much, it's not the end of the world. I'll just use some bonding putty and do a coat of that, and that's going to help stick it to the foam anyhow and get rid of any flop or movement in there. You can see where I already knocked it down. So now I just got to tune the edges up with the sander. I'll just use the orbital sander. Gets a little bit tighter, more detailed. But this is gonna look great. I have certain pieces that I've picked through the years and like some real favorite pieces. And these pieces off of Waterworld, this old deck just, oh God, looks so good when it's clean. All right, so got it all sanded. I used the belt sander and then took the orbital sander just in the edges. So it's ready. God, this is gonna look so good. Whew. So what we're using here is, this is just, one side is smooth, a little bit glossy, other side's rough. So I just get a sheet of this. It's dirt cheap. You get it at Lowe's, Home Depot, whatever hardware places by you. But this is just like a door skin. I need to look up the name of this stuff. If you know what this stuff is, comment in the comment section. But I trim it into little sections, and then this is what we're gonna use for our template. So I'm gonna use the hot glue gun, and we're just gonna make our template piece by piece. The key for doing this is that when you glue, put your glue on the glossy side. By nature, you would think that you would glue on the rough textured side, but it doesn't stick nearly as well. Go smooth to smooth. So we're gonna alternate. You'll see how we do it now. Now I can simply take this and transfer it to this piece. See what we got. Oh. Perfect fit. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to sand, basically scuff the surface, give it a light sand with my little angle sander, and scuff up the bottom, get it ready to bond in. So yeah, I'm mixing up some bonding putty soon and we'll be rocking and rolling. So what I did was I mixed up the bonding putty and I basically spread it over the foam, troweled it on, and then where I felt a little bit of flex in the floor when I pre-fit it, I just put up a little clump that's just to fill in the gap. So what that's gonna do is, now that I've got the floor panel bonded in, I got weight on it, it's gonna dry while I go to lunch. That's the other great thing. In an hour, I mean, this stuff is gonna be pretty damn solid. So I'm gonna go take lunch. I'll be able to come back, take this weight off, and then we'll go through the steps to laminate this deck. All right, so back from lunch. Woo! Yes. It is dry, so I've got it all scuffed up. What I'm gonna do now is mix up some more. I'm gonna do my radius, my fillet, and then I'm gonna do my glass, just wet right on top of that, and it's gonna be good. Maybe I'll actually record doing fiberglass this video. Let's see. So I got it laminated. I went right to the edge here. Came out good. I'm happy with it. All right. Here we are. Everything dried last night. The deck looks good. Super happy with it. Lightweight deck. I mean, it is super sturdy. So what's next is I'm going to trim this. I've got a little bit of an overhang here. Just a tiny bit. I'm gonna trim this, give it a little radius, little sand, and then I'll be able to wrap this. Remember, because this bulkhead and this floor was bonded in with epoxy, I now have to marry my polyester side with my epoxy side. So I'm gonna laminate with some 1708. So once I get the deck laminated, then I'm going to, I'm just gonna brush, I'm gonna coat this entire piece of teak with epoxy. So that's how I'm gonna protect this. In the past, I've done some where I did like a clear gel coat mixed with a Duratec, which is good, but nothing quite bonds to wood like epoxy, especially a hardwood. All right, so I trimmed it, and now I've got a little radius. You can see it, kind of, sort of. All right, so I'm in the middle of doing epoxy. I forgot to set up the camera, of course. But what I've done is, I want to show you, I've got this epoxied in. And then now I'm just taking my resin, my epoxy, and I am just coating the wood. All right. Oh, there comes the sun. Woo, look at that pop. All right, so it's got it laminated and got everything coated with the FGCI laminating resin. Good thick coat on this wood. It's not perfect, but I just brushed it. And yeah, I'm gonna let this sit in the sun and bake. Alrighty, so I am heading to Blair Propeller. They're in Stewart. Todd Blair is the owner there and a guru when it comes to anything prop related. I mean, his experience is just next level. I want to pick his brain a little bit, and I know this prop needs some work, so I'm gonna drop it off to him and let him pimp it out, and hopefully he says he can do something with my old beat up aluminum prop, my junkyard prop. So it's what I got. So let's see what Todd says, and yeah. I got the prop. Here it is, Blair Propeller coming through. I wanted to get some video footage of the actual facility and talk to Todd and have him explain everything he did to this prop, but he is sick, so I guess we'll save it for a future video. Anyhow, I'm super stoked. This propeller, look how good it looks. Obviously it's been painted, but the work that's been done to it, all the edges, everything is just super clean and tight. So he added 2 inches of pitch to it. So now this is a 17 pitch prop. Put a new hub and actually added a little cup to it. So this thing's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna be able to lift the motor up a little bit higher. And so any revs that I possibly would lose, I'll gain by coming out of the water a little bit. But with this increase in pitch, he did his prop slip calculator, which is pretty cool. And this is going to be right there. I mean, knocking on 50 miles an hour with this prop. So, I don't know. I'm excited to put this thing on. Now I'm just hoping for good weather. I mean, the wind it's been pretty windy. I'm hoping in the next day or two to get this on the skiff and yeah, go for a test run. All right, so I just finished sanding all the fairing compound down. It's not perfect, but it's gonna look really good with the paint that I'm putting on, especially considering I'm rolling it on. All right, so we're going to make this motor look a little bit better. Got the motor sanded down. So now what I'm gonna do, I basically sanded it down. It had a rattle can paint job. I sanded as much of it as possible off. Got it all wiped down. I'm gonna tape it up. I'm gonna spray this in 545. That's a all craft, all grip epoxy primer. So once I get it in the primer, then I'll let it dry overnight, be able to sand it down and paint it tomorrow. All right, so we got the motor in primer. Let's take a look. Look at that. So what I did is I had it tilted up all the way, got all the nooks and crannies, tilted it to each side, did all my coats. So I've got 3 coats of the all grip 545 primer on there. So now's the fun part. What color should I paint this motor? Looks like we got some paint. Whoa. Oh man. That's hard to tell. But this is a gray. It's a really light gray, a little bit darker than a Matterhorn white. The fairing job came out decent, you know. That's what I wanted.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
All right, so here we go. Big day. We're gonna wrap this puppy up. So what I've done is I just roughly did a tape line. What I wanted to do is I want to even the sides. They're a little bit off, or a lot of it off. But you can see here, it's kind of hard to tell. So if I was wanting to be really detailed, I would do measurements. Basically, I'd go every 6 inches or so. I do a measurement up from probably the outside or the keel, the side of the boat, maybe the chine. I do a measurement up, and then I'd come to the one side. So I'd measure the side that I like, and then on this side, I would just transfer all those marks, trim it, and then they'd match flawlessly. On this, I'm not doing that because, well, it's not perfectly straight. You know, there's some unevenness. You know, when we laid this up and did it, I didn't build a frame to hold it and make it perfectly straight and symmetrical. And, you know, I was using used parts from this boat and that boat, so not perfectly square and straight, but I don't care. I mean, it's a fun skiff. So I'm just doing what I can do, eyeballing it. I'm gonna trim this real quick. All right, so I just finished all of my prep, almost. What I did was I took the diamond tipped cut off right here. This cuts really well for fiberglass. I use that to trim my shear line, which is the swooping line. I'm happy with how that looks. I then took the belt sander right here, dusty, ran this till I got it all pretty straight. You know, I'm digging that. But mainly I just wanted to expose some fresh wood, and you can see the laminations of glass, obviously. And then I took my little grinder here with 36 grit. I knocked down some high spots. This would show up. There's another one. It's basically where my glass, when Maurice and I did this overlapped. So I'm just gonna do a little fairing wipe. And I buzzed down the entire outside. It's hard to see. But, so right now I'm gonna mix up some fairing compound. I'm gonna do some nice tight wipes throughout, just the spots that really need it. You know, I'm not trying to make this thing a show boat. Transom, I did some grinding too. So I'm just gonna wipe the bottom section. You know, if it's just a one wipe wonder. So however good it gets with one wipe of fairing, one fairing wipe, that's gonna be good enough for me. I'm gonna then roll gel coat. And because I'm rolling gel coat, it's gonna give it almost like a satinish semi-gloss finish with texture. It'll hide a lot of the imperfections. And honestly, it'll look great. It'll be durable. And yeah, I'm excited to see it in color. All right, so I've got my tight wipes. So I really like this FGCI fairing compound. It's so easy to mix. You know, old school, you'd mix up your own fairing compound. This is ready to go. It literally, you mix some hardener. And then got back here. And it's a polyester product, so you know, you use the same hardener you use for your resin. You barely need any. It kicks off. It's nice, creamy, smooth, no pinholes. There's a link in the description if you want to buy this fairing compound or any of the products that I use. Support those that support you. FGCI is a big supporter of the channel, and I hope you go at least check out their website and see some of their great products. One of the biggest announcements for this coming season of videos is that I have partnered with FGCI. FGCI is Fiberglass Coatings Inc. They're a company that provides, number one, incredible customer service and knowledge. Number two, a phenomenal product. And number three, incredible value. If you've watched some of my past builds and videos, you'll see that I already incorporate FGCI products. I've been putting them to the test and I am absolutely in love with their products. There's an old saying that I pretty much have lived by: support those that support you. You can implement that to any part of your life, whether it's friends, family, but especially business. And FGCI has really stepped forward to help with these builds and projects. They want to see this channel grow and they want to see you grow. They want to see you tackle your DIY projects. I've got a link in the description of this video to their website. And let me tell you what, support them because they support you, they support this channel, they support the builds. I could not be happier to make this announcement, to share with you guys FGCI. On with the video. Yes. Holy could be it. Dude, it'll be close. Look at these scores. Oh man. Dude, that's a Mongo piece.
Think that works for the feet?
Yeah. All right, so we are so close. What I'm gonna do now is install the rub rail. This puppy's ready. So this is what I'm using. I got this big, it's a really rigid, a rigid plastic. So this is like a 20+ foot long piece. I took this off a boat that had sunk. So this is a repurposed piece. I've got a couple pieces of it. So what I'm gonna do now is just, basically I'm gonna have this sit over the edge. So I'm gonna trim basically right down here, right down, all the way down the bottom. So I'll trim it and then lay it up. All right, so we've just concluded the build. We're getting ready for a test run. Let's go. I'd like to take this moment to thank you guys for watching this video. All of your support, your likes, your comments, your subscriptions. I appreciate you guys so much, and all the channel love you guys share. So just wanted to say thank you. On with the video. Let's just look at the angle on that cavitation plate in comparison to the bottom of the boat. It's angled, it's just this is what we've been working for, our test run. Here we go, we're about to go full test run. So this trim being all the way down is, the motor's not even getting to where it needs to be. I don't even know the mile per hour right now, but oh well. Do a couple more runs. Max. The bow is so far down, just pushing a ton of water. Well, that's why they're called test runs.
Not what I was hoping for. Still a learning process. I mean, rookie move, not having the pin for the trim position. It just murders speed. I mean, really, that's proof how important your motor setup, your trim, your motor height. Those are two really important factors when you're going for maximum efficiency, maximum speed. So I paid the penalty right there. You know, if we hit 35, I'd be surprised. You know, this thing's already been in the 40s with the old prop. So, you know. Okay, so here's a big day. The Gnu Slayer is now going to a new home. I know that I haven't finished what I wanted to on it in terms of last test runs, but this is Alan.
Hey everybody.
This is Lori. Hi. And they are going to give this boat the best new home. They're going to go for the test run. I've been promised they're going to film it.
Yeah.
So Alan is into same stuff, free diving, spearfishing. The boat's going to be in the Keys. They've got a cool place.
Serious guys, if you want a guy that knows what's going on with boats and your chemicals and your pars, and this guy knows how to build a boat. He can take a boat he can take a Bayliner boat and make it a Scarab, or a Scarab skiff.
So, I like it.
I mean, if you just watch his videos and you see the work, and if you know anything about glass work and how it's laid out, this is the guy that's going to build you a micro skiff, and probably a lot faster than any GNU that you'll ever buy brand new. So I'm so happy with this boat, man. Thank you, Simon, for everything you've done.
I'm stoked.
Good luck on your venture, and I'm going to be so happy with this boat. I promise you that this boat is going to get worked. So thank you very much, man. I appreciate all your hard labor into this boat.
You're doing a commercial for me. Right on. There it is. You heard it.
I'm gonna charge you nothing, bro. I'll see you later.
Well, my friends, that concludes the final video on this build. I know it's bittersweet. We wanted to see that 50-mile-per-hour run. You know, I really tried to get it done. I've gone months on this build since Maurice and I started. You know, it's hard filming these, editing, the time to go for these test runs. You know, I do this because I love doing these videos, but it is something I do on the side, and it consumes a lot of time. So I hope you've really enjoyed this build. We did end up with hitting the mid 40s on this skiff. So we got really close. What I can promise you, and there's no time frame on this, but I am going to meet with the new owner. We are going to do a test run together down in Key Largo. It probably won't be till the end of this summer, and we can do that final test run for you guys. So keep an eye out. No promises when, but it will be in the future. So thank you again for watching. I appreciate you guys, and see you next time.